What time are you going to come back in?
2?
It's
Like or 2:05, whichever, man.
2:05 if you can. I don't know if we're. I'll come and get you early. I never know where it's going to go, innit?
Yeah. All right.
Nice one, bro.
All right, see you in a bit.
Nice to meet you, mate.
We all good. I guess we're rolling. Let me start the timer on the meter, as you said.
Okay.
How do you even start these things, bro? I'm a rookie. How do you start your podcast? And then I'm going to introduce you.
Do you know what? I just feel like it's just a natural thing, innit? We're having a conversation, me and you are friends, and having a chat about what we're doing, and just I think just the natural flow.
I just mean your actual intros. How do you intro your podcast?
I say to her, this is Ollie from whatever, you know what I mean? Before he listens out there. But you know, with the podcast and everything, because it's not a natural thing with me, mate, and it's not natural. That's not my trade.
Yeah.
You put it like it's a different pretend. So I've always found like we relaxed a couple of minutes into it, and then it flowed. So I don't know. It's a funny one, man. The podcast, I think, what you're doing here, I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm really.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for joining me. I will introduce you properly.
Please do, man.
And I'll talk a bit about my bloody first podcast experience, which hopefully will be out by the time this one's out.
Yes.
And how much you learn by just episode by episode, if that makes sense. So we have Mr. Olly O'Donovan, the man himself.
Thanks,
a very good friend of mine. I'll give it a debrief because people will be like, I don't know who that is. Why am I listening to this podcast? And maybe, obviously, Ellis, he's a professional boxer, but most of my guests, no one's really going to know. But as I explained in my first podcast, it's an element of, I don't have a list of celebrities on my phone that are going to entice people over. But what I do have is a list of amazing people who have amazing journeys and are very relatable, such as yourself.
Love that,
which is why I've got you on. Holly was like, Holly, my missus that everyone should know by now if you're watching this.
Love Holly.
She's my future wife. She said, "Don't call me missus on your podcast." Sorry, so not my missus, my wife to be. Because someone else said that to me the other day. I'm going to go on a tangent here. He was like, what do you call your girlfriend then? I was like, well, I don't call her my girlfriend because that seems like an immature relationship. We've got a child together.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, would you say partner? And I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, that don't sound right, does it? I was like, yeah, I guess I do introduce her as my partner, but it's a bit like, it's like, so I guess we're going to have to get married and then she can be my
Do
wife.
it.
Yeah, you know I'm going to do
know
it.
my feelings of that. I love Holly.
So I just went off on one there. But no, she was like, so what are you and Ollie going to talk about? Like, and I said, well, actually, as you should very well know, because you know him better than I do, that's how we know each other, is he's got a great story. And you're going to be, by the end of this, very relatable in regards to, I like to think you're an amazing success story, and we'll come to your great successes. But actually, your path and your journey to your success
This is it, man.
was as if anyone who's hit the top.
Bumpy, rocky road. And do you know what it is, actually? I don't want to cut across you there, but like...
No, go on.
It's just a natural flow between you. First of all, thanks for having me, and thanks for thinking of me. But it's a madness because what the posterior of everything, when people look upon you and they think, and what from the outside inwards, it's a madness because people don't realise what you go through and what sort of front you put on. And like today when I said to you, you said, what access we got? I said, it's all access because if anyone's listening to this podcast and think, it's another podcast. No, I'm going to give you words and I want people to listen to them. I don't want to preach. I just want people to understand that like it's not all glitz and glam. We've been through some bad times. And when you said, you can ask me anything. I've got no shame. Everything that I felt was a bad time in my life, I've learned from it and I'm grateful for it. And now I've learned that aspiration of, do you know, like when you said, can we talk about rehab and can we talk about Bankruptcy.
You're giving away all my secrets.
Sorry, bro. Listen, carry on. But things like that, you know, like I'm full access. I just want people.
Well,
to
you've heard all the briefings now. What we're going to talk about because Geezer give it away.
But that's just a snippet, mate. There's a wild
yeah.
story.
Oh no, we're going to go there, mate. It's just like, and that's the key to life. I even said to bless one of my clients, his mum, if she's watching, I won't name names. But she said, like, can you know, part of my job is not just training people, but I like to do the mentality thing. We'll talk about our relationship and when I trained you when you done 75 hard. Very interesting. But she was just like, look, can you just talk to him about, like, things aren't going well at football and the failures in life? And I was like, absolutely, this is, like, part of my job, especially, like, when I work with the junior athletes. It's, like, explaining that the bumpiness of your journey is what makes your journey, one, so great, but two, you so great further on down the line.
100%,
like, everything's a learning curve, everything. Even my first podcast, I think I practiced it well. And when you spoke, bless Ellis, by the way. I love Ellis.
Yeah,
Mate,
Ellis.
the geezer had to tell me at the end, he was like, bro, we were battling. Like, he would be talking and I would be jumping in.
Yeah.
And it's all about, as long as you learn, then the lesson's a good quality lesson. Do you know what I mean, in a
Yeah,
way?
100%.
So even on that first podcast, I was like, well, shit, did I mess that up? Like, I was
So
talking
what,
over
man?
Ellis.
But
No,
again,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but who cares? You're out there doing your thing.
Yeah.
No, like, and that's another thing as well. Like today, like, good on you, man. Like, and I really mean that in a proper way. Like when I trained with you, it weren't just training we was doing. I'll come there and I'll get like we'd have a chat.
Yeah.
Like, yes, Joe, we're on a wavelength. Like, I'll get my physical. Again, it's the exterior, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, okay, looking good, but it was the mental thing. I was just coming there for a mental relief.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
I like to think I offer that in my service.
no, you did massively, man. You got me through because you knew full well that wedding was pressure on me, bruv.
Yeah.
Like, no
very
offense
lovely
to my
wedding,
wife.
by the way. Very lovely wedding.
Yeah, it was lovely. Fucking hell.
No, man. But yeah, so with that, we can even just touch on that right now. It's like, I mean, I met you through Holly.
Yeah.
Very good friends with your wife. And you were obviously trying to get in shape for your wedding.
Yeah.
And I offered, well,
Yeah.
I don't know, if you
I
contacted me.
approached you.
Yeah. And it was a case of let's do it. But at the same time, you were doing something that I think in itself is a whole conversation. 75 Hard. We're not paid to sponsor these people.
Yeah.
No,
No, but
they're getting a free sponsorship right
I needed
now.
your help, bro. I wouldn't have got through that 75 hard. And if people that don't
Tell
know
us about that though, man. Like, what the hell? One, what is 75 Hard for anyone that doesn't know? And two, tell us about your journey.
It's a tough one at 75 hard because you have to train twice a day. You have to have a gap of 3 hours between each training. No alcohol. You have to read 10 pages of your book. There's loads of things you've got to do every single day and be accountable. So it's not, yes, it's a physical exercise, but it's about the mentality, about being accountable yourself.
Yeah,
That's when I saw after you, I kind of like, Joe, I need some help because I'm getting there, but I'm getting tempted by this, that, and the other. You know, my past with booze and shit like that. And I was like, right. So when we got into it proper, and you give me that, when we started smashing, I started to see results. That's when it got addictive. That's when it got easy, bruv. And I was like, how'd you do it? And but it got easy.
Yeah.
Because you helped me to get there. When I was doing the training, I was like, I'm seeing shit.
I think it's with training, with nutrition, with addiction. We'll come to a different thing because that's a little more deeper. But it's with these habits. It's creating a healthy habit over a period of time where if you cut out sugar, the first week sucks. The second week sucks. The third week gets a bit easier. The fourth week, you don't even crave it anymore. The fifth week, you might even slip out, have a bit of sugar. One of my clients did the other day. She done the whole January no sugar. She's getting married. She tried a wedding cake.
That's extreme.
And loads of sugar. She said she felt sick for the rest of the day.
Really?
So it's just like, it's like training. It's like getting through that first hurdle of, you get there. One, seeing the results is always motivating. So do you know what I mean? You're always motivated when you start to see results. You've realised the plan is working. Same for my back rehab.
Yeah.
Is at first I was doing this thing, not knowing if this was going to work. And then a week later, I felt less pain. Then a week after, I felt less pain. And all of a sudden, it's religion because it's like,
that's it.
it's showing me that it's working. So now I'm fully engaged, fully
100%.
fully locked in. So, no, the same with you. But the 75 hard, it's like you say, there's a process. It's not just like give up drink for 75 days, but it's also little habits like reading a book.
It's everything.
And little things like that.
Do you know what it is though, Joe? It's like, say when we got in these, talking about these habits and creating habits, and I didn't even know where we was going to go today. That's why I think this podcast is the best.
I haven't written no brief, by the way. I'm jumping in quickly, but no, this is all off the hip, shooting from the hip. Carry on.
It's just real. It's just real life and what we're chucking about. But that's 75 hard, and I ask you, mate, in your profession as well. These things, like, they must be hard to combat against because sometimes they do. Like, I did it because I was stuck with it. It was militant, but it was hard, man. And then you see these people going to get these results. Some of it's a load of shit, bro. It is a
What
load
do you
of
mean?
shit. It is like it's like if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. And I mean, I'm just like a red living here, and the fact that you can't do that on your own. If you do, oh listen, you're a militant. I'll take my hat off to anyone who does it. And if you've done it, great. But you cannot cheat in that. You cannot cheat because you're cheating yourself.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to about 75 but it's the principles of 75 that what you take it. Like one night I finished work, I did my training in the morning with you, and I finished work at 9 o'clock, and I was knackered. I started to get another exercise in and do 10 pages, but I was shattered. And I was like 55 days in November, I was thinking, just get on that bike.
Yeah.
And when you get on it, it's the getting on the bike, it's the mental
It's the hardest
battle.
thing.
That's the
Yeah.
hardest. When I'm on it, I'm like, buzzing away.
Yeah.
I think I probably rung you after I'd done it, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And that's like, I mean, now it's second nature for me. I I've always woke up very early to get to work. My first sessions always start at 6 a.m. with my clients.
Yeah.
And it's that first, like, getting out of bed. Once I'm out of bed, it's like anyone. It's that getting out of bed's the hardest bit. And then once you're out of bed, now you're ready. All right, cool. I'm up. I might as well go to the gym.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's that first step in anyone's stage of discipline. Discipline is basically, why am I going to butcher it? I should have, my laptop's over there because I'm covering a stain on this coffee table. Shout out the production company that we're using, as always. No. It's 2 weeks in a row we slated them. No, they're great service. Look at these camera qualities. My boy's looking sharp as hell. Shit, now I'm throwing myself off. Yeah, no, discipline is, I'm going to butcher it, but it's discipline. Why? See, discipline is basically when you're not motivated to do something. It's when you don't want to do something. It's the discipline that makes you do it. So being disciplined and being motivated, it's easy to do the work when you are motivated. Let's just say, 100%. When I'm motivated to achieve something, like my client, they got a wedding, they're bang on the gym right now. You had a wedding, you're bang on. It's like when you actually don't have anything to shoot for. Half of my clients now are doing the London Marathon. They are fired up. They're in every week. They're doing everything by the book. They're not drinking. They're eating correct foods. But it's my worry for most people is, well, what happens when you've run that marathon and you've achieved that goal?
But Joe,
and now you haven't got a goal.
Bruv,
where do you go?
Listen, I'll tell you, last year, I'd had no goals, No goals. The year before...
No business goals?
Nothing. Listen, the year before, we actually smashed it at work. I went independent, took that leap of faith, as you well know. We cracked. I thought, this is it, we cracked it. Then I rested on my laurels, no goals. But the year before, I had so many goals, and I achieved every single one of them without being flash. I'm just saying we did. So I was militant on it. I was in the jam with you, just smashing at the gym. I was eating right. I was enjoying myself having a couple of boozes here and there. But I wasn't tearing the backside out of it because there was more important things that mattered to me that got me out of bed in the morning. So last year was a drifting year for me, and I suffered the consequence when I went to Florida in October for 2 weeks, and the business it almost imploded. So everyone thinks I'm flying, sees this on all this Instagram shit.
It was a lovely holiday.
Yeah, it was a lovely holiday, but I come back to the shit because I just rested my laurels and I didn't have goals and I didn't put the principle in place. And now I've learned from that because it's always with me. And this is one thing I thought, I'm going to talk about to Joe today is that it's just not religious, by the way. If anyone's watching, it's not religious. I'm a Catholic, by the way, but that's nothing to do with anything, It's the way I was raised. It's the fact that we talk about things like, when I've got in bad situations, which is the nitty-gritty, which people want to hear, and I'm proud, but not proud at the same time.
People want to hear. They want to hear your downfall, bro. No one wants to hear about your success.
When you go on Google, you don't look at the good reviews, you look at the bad ones.
Yeah.
That's what we're here today to talk about, where we come from. So, and like, when you approach me, I'm more than happy to tell people what happened. And like when I come back from Florida, it was going bad. Shit.
Well, let's because I introduced you as a great guy with a great story, but I actually didn't even introduce you properly, and we're like, how many minutes in? This is Olly O'Donovan for the second time, who is a whiskey and wine broker. Now, Joseph, why do you have a whiskey and wine broker on your show when I don't know much about myself, and we can even explore that, but it's that is Olly's trade, that is his business, but it's not about the actual business or trade, it's about the skill set you've had to adapt to become successful in whatever you so choose. So that is what he does, for anyone that was wondering, what does this guy even do? Let's go back to the start. How long have you been dealing in, and have I even described your job description correctly?
So
are you a whiskey and wine broker?
Yeah, I am. Listen, so I just a whirlwind, just because we assume this. I did this my podcast, assume people knew our relationship, but for the people listening and watching in, I started as a stockbroker, and I went into luxury commodities and started trading fine wines. That was a tough gig because there was a lot of people that were charlatans in the market, and everyone, as soon as you start making money, everyone judges you. Oh, you're dodgy and this, that, and the other. Still strong 17 years later, trading whiskey and wines. I've been featured in the Times, Money Week. I've done a collaboration with Rolls Royce. There's loads of stuff without blowing my trumpet. So it's not, again. I feel like I've got to say sometimes because when people hear that, they think dodgy. Money. They do. It's what I do on my daily basis.
Have you ever been dodgy?
No. Yeah, I a little bit.
I thought we was all access.
We'll talk about that, man. It's full access, man. It's full access. But yeah, it's true. Like, there's a few things that I've cut a few corners in life and I've learnt from again. And we're going to talk about that now, aren't we? You know? And
tell me a corner you cut, because otherwise we can keep saying we'll talk about it and we'll never talk about anything.
So I was made bankrupt by the age of 30. I'd already made enough money that I bought my house out around Keston.
All right.
I had 2 Ferraris in the drive, Harley Davidsons in the garage.
I didn't know you then. I wish I knew you then.
And I was just champagne Charlie, you know, just having it and being a twat. But where I bought my house, I thought that was the pinnacle, and I was done, and I could just go blow the rest. And I believed my own hype. And then I started buying horses, race horses, as you know. Got into the racing game. And I was back in LA in horses and information on horses, which I don't know if it's illegal or not, but I'm just saying straight it is.
HMRC, don't come after my boy. He's legit now. Don't do that to him. Carry on.
I had several horses in different stables, and we used to bet big, and you know, we knew the trader sort of knows in that respect. And but then we went on a very good roll, and then you start thinking you're a demigod. Everything you touch turns to gold. Started risking more, and I took on people and trusted someone. A fellow I know, he got out of jail, and he was an old family friend, and he played on my heartstrings, and I took him on. But long story short, I trusted too many people because I didn't care. I took the after ball, and then it turns out he embezzled me for a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah, he went to jail back again after this, and I had a forensic on me, and that was absolutely come out fine. They saw that I was fine. He was the one that was no good, and I lost everything, mate. I lost everything just because of the after ball.
Yeah, and then you had to file. Your company had to go bankrupt.
Well, listen, I was made bankrupt.
Okay.
You don't when you make yourself bankrupt. It's a difference to when you're made bankrupt.
Yeah, that's more of an actual swerve, isn't it?
Yeah, so I was made bankrupt. I was holding on to the skin of my teeth, as it were. And one thing I will say about this whole thing is that Mel, when we don't speak about her enough, she's my lovely wife, by the way. A loyal wife is a very rare thing.
I'm not going to cut you off, but I'm going to talk about that. Actually, I'll add to it now, as I've already rudely cut you off. People just don't understand. Like when I say, and it's awkward to talk to it about some people who sadly haven't found their partner. The happiest all around people I know are people in a solid relationship with children per se, unless they're younger and they're just in that lovely relationship anyway. But it's like all my clients that I look at and I'm like, they haven't really got much to complain about. Do you know what I mean? Like no major complaints.
But you don't know.
No, not like that. But I just mean at the end of the day, whatever problems they have aren't the world's heaviest problems because they've got an amazing partner and they've got amazing kids and they've got a family unit. So it's like for me, I can look at it and I say, I live in a cardboard box. If I've got Holly and Massey, I'm a rich man.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like 100%. You feel the same way.
Mate.
So I feel like if you're out there and you're single,
yeah,
find someone and have some kids. But no, it's like the most powerful thing. A lot of my successful clients who do very well in business, it's like that part of their life's sorted. And I'm not saying everyone's relationship's perfect. Yeah. No one's relationship's perfect.
No.
And everyone goes through the hardship, but it's that having that person that me and Holly can argue, but there's no loss of imperfection. There's no loss of love because we could have the worst argument, not that we do, but if we did, I don't think in my head, I'm going to break up with this girl.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
No.
Like, what are you talking about?
Stronger than that.
Yeah. This is an issue. All right, we address it. Or all it takes for me and her is like 5 minutes of not talking, and we look at each other and go, can we have a cuddle now?
Yeah.
And it's done. It's dead and buried. But go back to Mel, because, she has been amazing for you. So carry on, please.
So when you say full access, so like you can understand that Melanie, like...
don't share all her secrets. She does.
No, listen, she's my rock. And a strong woman and a loyal woman is very hard to come by because the stuff we've been through, she's with him, this, that, and the other. People say because he's got money and like that. She was with me when I was on my arse.
Yeah.
We had people come around the house, mate, like threatening us on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Because there was other people's money involved when he's back in LA, and it weren't just my money. I lost a lot of money, housed a lot. It's in the millions, talking millions. But other people's money was tied in, and they got nasty. But Mel stuck with me when people got nasty. Then we had to go through the whole process, and it was just that bankruptcy. We're going to be celebrating in March because it's 6 years since I've been made bankrupt.
Yeah.
And it's been a tough time.
That's not even that long ago then.
That's 6 years, bruv. Yeah, and you just don't realise you can't even get a
library
library
card. I would have probably just met you around then, just after then.
Yeah, you can't even get a library card, mate. Literally.
You don't fucking go to the library. You don't
but
need
you know what I'm saying? It just makes life a bit more awkward. And Mel's stuck me through thick and thin, and I wouldn't be the man I am today without her. And I can honestly say that. And she'll tell you, I would have been dead in the gutter if she didn't pick me out. Cause
I believe that.
Yeah, because like things happen. Like when Lonnie was born, we're talking about kids and family. I found it hard to accept change. So I knew things were coming up. Your wife's pregnant. You see her getting bigger, right? Yeah. So it's a ticking time bomb going there. But Lonnie, my filly, my best things that ever happened to me. But at the time, I was a selfish man. I only had my cock to keep, and I couldn't deal with it. So I literally just went turbo, and I was going out, missing. I was abroad.
Is this while
Mel was pregnant? Yeah, I was an arse, man. I was a fucking arse. And she's still smiling and sticking with it, and I just weren't coping. Bearing in mind, I lost my dad 2 years ago before this as well. So that's where the drinking started. So when you lose someone like your dad who's your role model for a strong Irish family, he was the glue. When he passed, mate, it was a deep thing, and it's quite emotional to say that the glue lost, and we realised how much of an overlord he was, because we're all nutters.
Yeah.
And we got given free rein, and there's me just boozing up. And this was prior bankruptcy. Lost my dad, hit the drink. Then it's all masked because my park bench was Park Lane. It wasn't a park bench on, like Mottingham, down Fox's Field or something. It was because the money was coming in, but the problems were still there. But the money was masking it, and then the cracks started appearing. And that's when Mel organised, she was an intervention for me to come in and people to take me away and rehab. Yeah, it's deep.
So let's go there then.
Yeah. So that is deep. I get emotional on it. But this is a woman. She's like, I was like, why are you doing this to me? We're fine. Money's coming in. But when I'm a different man to I was 13, 14 years ago, and you're like, yeah, you're doing this because you hate me. I got taken away, mate. Like literally, they took me away. I think they're ex-old Bill, they're ex-army.
Can I jump in quick?
Go on.
You said you said you were a different man and you were 13, 14 years ago. But were you really? in the root of it, do you know what I mean when you say that? Because sometimes I thought it's like, nah, I've changed, I'm better, and it's like actually, there's still parts of you.
You talk about these dents along the road or these bumps. I call them dents. Yeah, you hit these dents, the suspension goes. You got to get the car going again. My dad died was a dent. Like we hit a wall. That wasn't even a bump. I was like, shit. And then I know people lose loved ones every day, but that hit me hard. Then boom.
I don't think anything can. I mean, I'm blessed in that I haven't lost a parent.
Yeah,
like
listen,
that. Yeah.
There's
the wood, man.
There's the wood.
Fucking digital
but
studio.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. The simple things in life of having that.
No, bro.
Gratitude.
I'll be honest. Like my dad's my role model. I love my mum to death. Like, it's and mum, don't take offense to that. I mean, role model is in like he's a male. Do you know what I mean? She's gonna be sat there going, "Oh, what the fuck are you?"
Thank God you're letting it out, man. I'm gonna start crying in a minute.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, but it's cool. It's cool because this is what it's about. He's opening up and talking to you. But
bro, yeah, you don't
losing a role model, like you said,
bruv.
Killer. And he was a big community. There was 1,000 people at my dad's funeral. You know that?
I did.
Because he supported the community with his kids.
I think that's a show of richness.
He was young though, mate.
Who turns up to your
young
well, one, you get the. Yeah, when you die bloody old, no one's even alive to come to your funeral. That's the sad thing, but that's obviously a downside. But also a sign of respect, man. Like 1,000 people rocking up to a funeral. Like, I've seen a few funerals and they're big funerals, and I'm like, well, that's a rich human being because a lot of people care. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people care about them. They want to show their respect, and that's a great sign. So obviously. And I know you well enough to know you're a good man. Whatever you're going to tell me today and whatever you've been through, you're actually... And you would have always been a good man within.
Yeah, of course. It's the benefit for people that go through these times and when they see all this Instagram shit and people see all the good stuff, no one posts the bad stuff. No. It's a vanity project. I almost hate that shit. I like it a little bit as well. Do you know what I mean? But I'm being honest with you. I do like it a little bit, but I hate this fat list of all the bag of lies and whatever may be, false pretenses. But from then on, I think that was a catalyst when I lost my dad. But still, I was a workaholic as well as I liked to dabble in all sorts of stuff. And but just because I was just good at my job without being big-headed, money masked it all. And then it got to a point, like I said, when Mel sent round this intervention, I always remembered, like, I've got to go. I handed myself into this guy's got the best business model, by the way. This guy that owns this rehab. It's not like the Priory, you go in and go, oh, darling, I need a gin and tonic. You know what I mean? You literally get kidnapped, you get tied up and put in a room, and they just, yeah, bruv, honestly,
I'm not
heavy.
Laughing,
no, but it's funny, but it's true, we can laugh at this situation now.
No, but it just sounded
They try and scare the shit out of you so much. It's one up from prison, I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
Look, you know bells and whistles, this gaff. It's an old derelict building, which is University Digs, and you're in there, but this is the last chance saloon not the celebrity gaffs. I was in rehab with very famous people. I was with Kate Moss's best mate. He was a punk. He was an anti-ballet dancer, punk movement. His name's Michael Clark. If you're listening, mate, big love. That guy, he got me a straight and narrow. But
I was going to say, don't name no names.
Yeah, look, sorry, but no, he won't mind that. He's a dude. Like, they did an open box here. He was a lovely man. He helped me in rehab. But he was Kate Moss's best friend. He invented the anti-ballet, and he was a punk ballet dancer.
I don't even know what that is, bro.
Yeah, he was an avant-gardist, man. He was a true G. And the first night I got in there, when someone tried breaking out, alarms going off and shit like that, and he come in, he's just like, mate, he give me a pouch of baccy and thing. He said, you smoke? I said, I do now. You know, it's like that one of them ones. I obviously did smoke. And we cracked off there. And he gave me a TV. And we struck a friendship from there. And these are little things, these little characters, core memories. It's not good times, but you remember them. It's weird how your mind always goes to the bad.
How long were you in rehab for?
Oh, well over, I think it's like 5, 6 weeks, something like that.
5, 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Intense, like no...
Intense for the first...
You couldn't have visitors?
I think, but no, the first 2 weeks, no phones, nothing.
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
like a little basher in there.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's bad. It was bad. And, but then it just, from then, it was because Lonnie was being born. I couldn't deal with the change again.
Yeah.
I love my Lonnie so much. You know, Lonnie's my first daughter, by the way, named after my late father. Yeah. So we continued that, and it's just be like, I can't be this dad, the last person at the bar, or never wanting to go home, and I've got a family, so I had to change it up, and I accepted that. And that acceptance, when I went to rehab, and then I've got a kid here, and then come out, and then I went sober for 4 years, as you well know.
Yeah. So with that, let me jump in.
Go on,
it's like obviously you went to rehab for alcoholism, and it's a case now where that's actually quite like maybe, I don't know, comforting for people. I don't think so it'll be comforting, but it's like okay, understanding this gentleman went to rehab and now he's actually, because you are able to drink again. Do you know what I mean? But in a controlled manner. Now some people don't have that situation, that switch when it comes on, it doesn't go off. But I think maybe in your experience and what you can kind of give to people is actually you went through that, you then didn't have it, but now you're back in without the temptation, if that makes sense. Being so strong, I'm not saying you... And
do you know what it comes down to, Joe, as well?
Please,
because people go, what's the keyholes? And I said, listen, there's no keyholes to it. There's no key to it, as it were. It's the fact that having it, you can earn it. When people tell you, you just don't listen. Stop drinking, you're going to kill yourself. Yeah, whatever, bang.
Sorry,
that's what people do. It's true. I've been in the rooms, you could talk very
yeah.
And it's an open policy to talk about, but you can just go blue in the face and pass out and someone will still do it because they're not listening to you. Yeah. It's when you feel that danger, that burn. Yeah. And they called it in rehab and in AA and CA, NA, any form it takes. It's called God, yeah. And I said before, the gift of desperation. But you need to feel that first to never want to go back there again. Mm-hmm. So you say you learn the hardest ways, that phrase. Yeah. And you've got to let your kids, like we've got kids now, you want to wrap them in bubble. Bubble wrap them, keep them nice and safe. But they need to learn that if they fall down and cut their knee, they don't want to do that again. Take precaution because they don't want that burning feeling. That's what it's like when you're getting on different levels. So it's just a madness.
The saddest thing about that is it's actually the facts of life. Like I got a good friend, and he would say, if you don't hear, you shall feel. But it's a case of all of us are in that. I would watch my friends go through something, and I'll be like, I ain't stupid enough to do that. And then I would think that I'm learning from their mistakes, because that would be a powerful thing. If you learn from other people's mistakes, you don't even have to make them yourself. So therefore, you're a rich man. But it doesn't go like that. I will go, I ain't going to do that. And then next week, I'll go and do that. And then it would come on. I was like, oh shit, now, I've had to learn the hard way. Yeah. And sometimes I won't even learn the hard way. Do you know what I mean? I'll continue to make those errors until it was so bad. Do you know what I mean? That now it's like, oh wait, all right, if I really do continue to do this, then I am just the biggest idiot.
Oh, look, last week, I'm not ashamed to say it, my ankle blew up massive, and I'm 43 years of age. And I know it's just terrible.
It looks great. What a great head of hair for 43 years of age, by the way. I'll take that all day.
But I listen,
go on, tell us, why did your foot blow up?
My ankle blew up because I've got gout. And
I'm not laughing at that.
And do you know what as well?
You are being
it's
honest
just true.
right
We laugh
now.
about it, man. Fuck it, laugh. If you don't laugh, you cry. This is what life's about. So everyone's go, he's talking about his boozing habits and he's got no problems and he's been a boozer.
He's got fucking gout.
Now I've got gout. Look at him. Yeah, whatever. Do you know what it was? I went dry for a month. Yeah. And when I first had a little drop, bang! Yeah. Something reacted, and I was like, shit. What the I might just stay on the booze.
Yeah, no.
If this is the
don't
case,
do that.
obviously that's not a lesson. I'm just saying that's in my head. You think this sort of mad stuff, you know?
Gout is a strange one. I got another client who sadly suffers it. It's like it is. I'm not a medical professional.
It's hard, man. It's
but
horrible.
it is. Can you get gout through any other source, or
Yeah, it's
is
not-
it
it's-
through
listen,
just alcohol?
it's diet,
Poison?
it's-
Yeah, diet.
it's-
I know contributes to it.
Alcohol's massive.
But what
let's
would
not get
give
it wrong.
someone gout, if that makes sense?
Types of foods?
Oh,
you know,
really?
lifestyle. Like,
Okay.
so but you got to imagine.
It
Like,
isn't just alcohol.
no, it's not just
Okay.
alcohol, but listen, it is as well. you know,
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
think that's
help.
the most people I talk to. That's kind of the main trigger that gave them. So if that's enough reason for you lot to control your alcohol consumption.
It's horrible. It's horrible, and I don't want to go back there again. It's another life lesson. I don't want to go back there again.
Yeah.
So what have I done to sort out the gout? Is that I was eating in restaurants every day because I'm seeing clients every day. It's convenient for me to do that. I'm like, right. The doctor said to me, like, Ollie, give me a run through your daily diet. I was like, I'm eating this restaurant, this one, this one. She went, do you know how much salt and butter and shit they put into them foods to make it put good? I put on half a stone.
Yeah.
But that's just, sometimes I go into a restaurant and just eat. I won't have nothing to drink. But I'm eating rich food all the time for convenience with clients. And you sort of, it just, and that's what happened. So now I don't eat in a restaurant. I'll go on a Friday and have a nice bite to it at a decent restaurant. Instead of, I was getting it the wrong way around, mate. I was doing it all during the week, and during the weekend doing fuck all.
Yeah.
And now enjoy my weekends, have a nice bite to eat, and go reset. And during the week, get him up down at work. If the boy says you want to go for a pint of Guinness on a Wednesday, I'll have one or two, and I'll make plans with Mel because I know that she'll kill me,
Yeah.
and I don't want to let her down, and I'll slip home. So I don't just completely cut it out because I was so extremist, and that's what I did, going without booze and being like a monk for a month, and then have another drink, ankle blowing up. It just threw it back in my face. And you've always taught me that, mate. It's about balance. It is about balance.
Yeah, no. I got a
100%.
tattoo on my arm of a balancing scales, and some people keep coming up to me and go, "You in the police force?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" They're like, "Why you got the scales of justice on your arm?" I'm like, "What the
The Old Bailey.
fucking shit fucking tattoo? Fuck." Literally, I'm like, "What the fuck?" But
It
no,
is about balance.
Life's about balance. And do you know what it is? It's not even like a very good. I hope she listens. She's my yoga therapist. That's a thing. And she's been an amazing help. I'll name her Helen. She's amazing. I actually want her as a guest on here because she'll be, again, another person in my journey with great information that's helped me. And what I'm going through right now is I live in fight or flight a lot in my head, as I'm sure you do, as I'm sure most productive people do.
Man. Yeah,
because
it's
it's just, even when I'm with my son, it's like my mind's like, bah. And she's taught me to become conscious of that. And when you're swinging too far one way, just bring it back to the middle. So it's not about like life being perfectly balanced all the time, where it's like if it goes too much this way, becoming conscious of it being here, and then realigning it, bringing it back
100%.
down. And then if it goes too far that way, in the other direction, then just realizing, being conscious.
Being aware of yourself.
That's the most important thing.
I was raised by a very old school trading floor stockbroker. He said, Ollie, be the swan, yeah? You're gliding along the top like this, but underneath you're going fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And for a long time I was like that in life. And that's the false pretense. Look at him, he's great. Underneath you're going bananas, you're all over the place.
But do you think that's healthy?
No, it's not healthy. That is not the way forward. Talking now's healthy, bruv.
Yeah.
This is what they're saying. Like, it's not been the picture of roses. Whatever the phrase is, it's been a hard slog. It's been ups and downs. It's been, like I said, some of the stuff we're talking about today. It's nice to get off your chest. It's quite emotional as well, mate. The fact that people say, "I live a good life." Nah, fuck that. We live a great life.
Yeah. I was going to say, you do live a good
We
life.
live a
but
great
it's-
life, but it's
but
come at with.
I
I've
wouldn't,
had to
say
learn
it's come at a cost, but it's come with an intense
life
journey,
lessons.
mate. And I've got, again, my mentor. I will be doing a podcast with him next week. He's and that one he'll be opening me up for God knows how long, because that's what he likes to do. But it's pause on that if anyone. So, not in a strange way, but he's always taught me. It's like, I don't even think he said the same, but it's not about the destination. It's the journey.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And those hardships and those moments, they make everything like worthwhile, but also like, one, you're grateful because it's not so hard. Like with my back, do you know what I mean? It's like I actually turn around to people now. I'm pain free again.
Did you ever
touch on
question
wood.
that though, Joe? Do you remember? Did you ever question why has this happened to me? Because
Yeah.
that was a bad thing. I know. I saw you. I was like,
and it was
I saw.
answered because two people answered me. One person said, "God only tests people that are strong enough to take the challenge."
Yeah.
So that was one. I took it as a compliment that I'm being tested this badly.
That's it, mate.
And two, it's I questioned it, but then I understood the answer was, again, it's like, this is now I turn around, down, thankfully on the back end of it, is I needed this because this is now, it's been like a cut-off point. I'm now 30. It's like a cut-off point to a new chapter in my life.
Yeah.
It's like made me realise what I should be grateful for, just the
Taking
day-to-day
things for
stuff.
granted, bruv. I'm not saying you do, but I think everyone does.
Everyone does, bro. Like, let's
You're
be
lifting
honest.
weights, you're doing your shit.
Don't get on my weightlifting situation.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, man, like you said, when you had when you didn't even think about that back problem being in your ether around you, you was banging out the way, she was living life and just doing a good thing. And as soon as it steps like that, you realise that health is your wealth.
Absolutely. That, number one, but also just like things that I was worried about in life and taken for, like you say, taken for granted. Stress, everything, just like, once it narrowed down to that acute pain in it was down my leg and hip, and now and then into my back.
Sciatica, mate.
I had all the symptoms. Sciatica being a symptom of a prolapsed disc. So the prolapsed disc was in the back. Yeah. But it's just like, mate, I couldn't sit down. I couldn't go to the toilet, to be blunt on my own podcast. I'll be as open as you. Little things like I couldn't hold my son. Obviously, if you watched a Five Will Phrase podcast, I mentioned in there. But it's like that podcast, like you said a second ago, it's like this is good. Talking is good. Because after I done that podcast, it was like I almost put that to bed, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like that stage. And now it's like I'm not over it. Do you know what the weirdest thing is? It's like the human body, my human body anyway, it's like a great skill, and I think most people's bodies do it. I forget things fast. Like I forgot the pain I was in. Yeah. The pain was excruciating. I was on so many painkillers, so many drugs to get over that pain. Now I'm in no pain. I'm like tiptoeing around, like acting like it never happened.
That's your personal.
But it's almost like I don't want to forget that pain because that pain kept me humble, and it's like I don't. Do you know what I mean? In a way, it's like yourself. You went through all that hardship, and now your business is doing amazing again, or not.
Listen, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a mindset thing, you know. We talk about mindset, and I do want, you know, when people hear these podcasts go, I talk about mindset, and no one really absorbs it. But when we're talking here, we're talking real experiences here. Like when you said about the business, it's so volatile sometimes, depending. Why? Because of my temperament and me. So when I sorted my mindset out, so right, okay, the level of acceptance what I've had to go through in life and deal with, I now know that, you know, business is good again. Weird, it's like on and off tap. It's so weird.
It's like, no, you can't. Like what you said, it's just like same thing for me. It's like I watched this would probably come out a couple of weeks after what I mentioned, but I watched the Super Bowl on.
Too late for me, mate.
It is for most people. I'm a big NFL fan, innit? But it's just like that one day threw me off, which then I didn't work on the Monday basically because of the late hours. I had work in the evening. I had a few things come up, and then I ended up just being like, you know what, with how I'm feeling, and I ended up shifting work throughout the week, and then it's had a knock-on effect, and that's just one day. So it's like when you're self-employed, it is that thing of staying on the ball. But then it's like, well, what's the actual balance? Because if I stay on the ball all the time, business is great, but then am I being myself at some points? Because you and me, and we can talk honestly, you can lie to yourself and say, oh, that fun life, that party life, like that was great, but it's not. It's still in us. Yeah. And who's to say like you can't do it sensibly? Do you know what I mean? In a way, like why can't we go? Me and you go out and have a couple of glasses of wine, nice meal, have a lovely evening. You know, go on late into the evening. Like that's still a part of life,
Joe. But you know what? Listen. Sorry to come across you. It's the way we've been schooled, mate. And what it is, it's old school expectations on new heads. So what I'm saying to you here is that me and you, like, it's like we've got a good work ethic, yeah. And now we've had this part. We like to, like I said, a drink and a social. Everyone does as human. So don't beat yourself up about it. Just don't keep on doing it. But then I just took liberties, you know. But then we go back to our old school. You said it's still in us to be in party mode. It's still in us to be what we've been drilled in by our dads. Be militant, get up for work. We'd be good dads. So it's that balance. And everyone's going to struggle. I don't care what anyone says. If anyone says, "Oh no, life's it's just smooth as butter moving through," then
no one's journey's linear like that. No. And if you are, I don't even know. And I feel like people whose journeys probably start linear end up having the biggest drop off of all. If you were gifted, like say your parents were very fortunate to have wealth or so, and your journey, you had very good education, you had support into starting your own business. It's like almost like the real world hasn't hit you yet, and then sadly one day. Like
it's be it
life or God or whatever you want to call it, but it will find you. It will humble you.
And that's what I'm saying to you now, Joe. Like, Another reason I was keep repeating myself about I was talking is because
It's all right.
it's real though, bro. It's like at some stage something bad's going to happen. Yeah, that's negative to say. Yeah, but it's how you cope with it and how the mechanisms you deal with yourself to deal with it. When I was younger, I didn't have the mechanism to cope because my dad shielded me that much. So when he passed, bang, I was like,
Yeah.
it's only fantastic money, big money, and I was like, right, the money turned into beer tokens, and that's how long I could stay out for. You know, reality turns, and it was just like, it's the coping mechanism, and having a wife support. You know, even when we go back to 75 Hard, when you helped me get through that, and I was still battling one of the booze every day, but we still did our things, accountability, and like I said, when you're looking for, when people don't reach out and talk about things, that's worse.
Yeah.
Because then you think, because everything's worse in your head, mate. You know that.
Yeah.
And I can build stuff in my head, and until I talk about it or go and face the fear and deal with it, it's nowhere near as bad as it was. It's only because I've learned from the experience of bottling stuff up or going too hard or what it may be, you know. So,
and that's part of the reason I wanted to do this podcast is my sister was saying she doesn't believe, she's misinformed. I love you, Elspeth, but you're misinformed. She doesn't believe that there are strong male figures out there. And she was like, you should start a podcast because more male figures need to be out there and be vulnerable, and which is why I am doing it and why we're having these honest conversations. But I actually do think there's good role models out there. I myself listen to many male podcasters, and I think they do a way better job than me. I'm going to have X amount of people watch this. They got millions and millions and millions.
How'd you
of
get
people watching them.
experience? You've got to start somewhere.
No, of course, but it's just like that is kind of what I am trying to achieve off the back of what she said. Like, I do want to do a podcast with you're a male. I'll have females on here as well, but it's just about like all the males that will watch this, like, you're being vulnerable right now.
Yeah.
I'm always vulnerable. If you know me, like, I'm happy to talk, and I've always talked, and that's
it's
why I feel like
vulnerableness though, like being vulnerable, like, yeah, it's a funny word, but like Joe, I'm saying, like, it's just being open, and like I'm at peace with that now. I'm at peace with what I've done in the past, and I accept
you're
it.
almost grateful. Like,
I'm grateful.
like, as shit as it is,
Yeah,
you have to go.
mate, I've learned. If you don't learn from the mistakes, you're destined to repeat them again.
Yeah, of course.
And then you're just going to keep doing the cycle. Where I've learned from the most mistakes, where people talk about, I can only have a few and stop, and I can't stop, and that's in everyone to a certain level, unless you've got something bigger out there for you.
Yeah. My problem that I'll be honest now, you've been very honest, is, and I speak about it to a lot of my clients in similar ages as me, is I think, like, I don't know if it's a generational thing or if it's an all ages thing. It's mine is like, I would love to just be able to go to the pub, have 2 beers, and then just go home. So it's like, once I have that 1 or 2, it's like, we might as well have 5 or 6.
But it's in everyone. It's in everyone.
Do you reckon? All right, let's do a poll. Is everyone in the same boat? Drop a comment below.
I think from the experience, that's in everyone until you. I was going to say before I cut myself off there, mate, it's in everyone until you have that bad experience, or you don't want to go to that dark corner again.
You're very true.
You know, so if your mate's like with no responsibility, I feel good luck to you. I'm jealous of you in that respect. You've got no responsibility. You could be on the smash all day long.
Kids change everything.
And then when you have that kid, there you go, kids, family. But then sooner or later, the responsibilities will kick in. I hope they do for everyone, but it's a sore one.
It's important. Yeah, and that's another thing. It's like, kids is like such a landmark moment in anyone who's got kids' life. It's like life before kids, life after kids.
Mate, that's what
and it's like, and then I guess that's like another question that I'm not going to be able to answer here today. Maybe you will. It's just like that balance for like when you and your partner want to go out and express yourself and have a night out on the town and be romantic and have a few drinks and have a good night, and then it's just that responsibility. But then I guess it's just understanding that balance. Like,
it's no balance. It's hard, mate. If we knew had the answer today, we'd be gazillionaires on this podcast.
We ain't got no answers for no one, by the way, people. We're venting right now, so just enjoy our vent. We don't have the answers.
But I've found though, Joe, you're talking about, sorry to hop, skip, or jump, and that's my ADHD brain going off here.
Yeah, I should have put that at the beginning. Like, bear with Ollie, the geezer's all over the gaff.
I've got massive ADHD, and this is me being calm, by the way. Is that I've always found that if I had a goal, I hyper focus on stuff. Yeah, you know I do. So if I've got a goal, and we've got a goal, me and Mel we really want to get out to Dubai for just a change of lifestyle. Last year, wishy-washy. It wasn't there. There was a few hurdles in our way. Some people really didn't want us to move. They weren't liking me going independent, and they tried to put some hurdles in our way and stuff. And find a bit stick. We've overcome all this now, and now I've got a clear goal. It's given me a new life. Just having a goal that I do want to go out there. I just want to look, there's fear there because I don't want to ruin what I've built. I've got kids now. I've got responsibility. So I've learned from before where I was going home. When I was made bankrupt from back in the lane horses. Would I do that now? Never. I'll never jeopardise my family's future. But you always carry that slight with you, even though my business is established now. Okay, and it's been going. And we do have volatile months in what we do up and down with trading. That's the nature of the beast. It's how you deal with the lows, not the highs, because everyone can have a good time on highs. How when it's down and sales ain't coming in and you're trying your best, you got to keep going when the results aren't changing. That's when the difference is,
mate. And yeah, that's like the best. And this is why I love sport. My life's sport. Like, I'll never want to do another career. Like, I didn't make it in professional sport, but I'm a coach and a trainer. And it's just like I've watched so much sport, and it's just like the excellence. But it's that sports discipline of like mentality of do the hard work when no one's watching, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Yeah. Go on.
Do you know my 1,000 balls?
No.
I tell my brokers think I'm absolutely batshit crazy, yeah.
Which you are.
Which I am. I say to him, look, when you're on the phones and you're learning your sales skills to speak to people and be articulate and get the sound, our job is to turn a no into a yes. Just to give you a bit of a whirlwind, the general British public, even if they're in a suit shop, they're physically standing in a suit shop and someone goes, would you like to buy a suit? First thing we say is, no. They go, no. But you're there. No, I'm fine, just looking. But you're physically in a suit shop. So our job is we understand that, we move from that, and I've got to train these kids. I say, you just can't just pick up the phone and start taking thousands of pounds of trade and getting people to build portfolios of you and trust you and build and help them build their asset in this market. It doesn't happen like that. It's what you do outside of work. And so Tiger Woods, he hits 1,000 balls a week, yeah. But I
knew he was going somewhere. There he is.
Listen, this is the sport. So Tiger Woods, yeah. So bear with me on this one. Sorry, go on.
The GOAT.
He'll hit 1,000 balls. Look, no one will see. But when he goes in a major tournament, he hits an average of 64 balls.
I think it's a bit higher than that, sadly, now, man. But I wish it was still 64.
Listen, don't quote me on that.
No. It's peak, bro. The guy was finishing
70 balls. You see him for a perfect tournament, winning millions of pounds. It's not. It's what he's done. Do you think when he goes to Augusta and he sees the par 3? He licks his finger and throws up the code. Goes, what club am I going for today? He knows that in his head. It's the discipline and outside of work. I call it 1,000 balls effect. What are you doing outside of work to improve inside of work? And that's what we're, constantly. That's what keeps me on path of the sportsman mentality. And I think sport. Again, I know we're going on a tangent here, but sport's so important for everything. And that's why I'm trying to get my kids into it now.
Get kids into your sport, 100%. It teaches them so many life lesson skills. Discipline,
doing the full circle,
teamwork. If you do a solo sport, being self-reliant, but also trusting good voices around you, understanding, coaching. Mate, just sports changed my life. Sports is my life. It didn't change my life. It is my life. I don't want to do anything else.
It's the basic fundamentals of what you're doing to be successful in sport or anything. But sport's a real good example. It said, mate, like.
That's why sports makes me emotional. When I see someone like achieve a goal, it's not just the goal I see them achieve. It's like at that moment I see the happiness or the elation or whatever that they're going through, but it's the actual graft that I know that one athlete 100%. Would have put themselves through to get to that moment. And as you know, you was in Saudi with me with Ellis. It's like that moment I wanted it so badly for him because it's just like I know the graft that man has put in and what he deserves. The same for his opponent, like Zhao, who beat him. What he's gone through. Do you know what I mean? Every athlete that has hit the pinnacle will have gone through a crazy journey that has got them to where they are. And it's
but look at the lesson that Ellis must have learnt there, and I know he did as well.
Bro, yeah. I think more than the sport lesson, I think the life lesson, like when you have something happen to you like that.
What an experience.
It's like when you have something happen to you like that, it's not just what I've learnt about my sport and boxing, but what have I learnt about myself as a human to get over something which I know I was with Ellis. I spoke with him regularly after that. What he probably found quite embarrassing. He put himself in a situation, and then I think for anyone in boxing, like I'm not sending for you, Els. You know I'm good, man. I know you got onto me about my footballing ability, so I'm not trying to make a return. When you see the first podcast, we have a nice little go at each other. But it's like he put himself mentally in a place where he was like undefeated, like unbeatable, if that makes sense. And then to get knocked out in boxing in the first round is like what one would call embarrassing. But it's like actually.
Look at the comparables. I'm not saying I'm compared to the man's a finely tuned athlete. I'm just saying I was
when life
building
hits
off.
you the hardest.
He got bankrupt when he got banged on the chin.
Yeah.
Bless him. Like, and,
I
and
mean,
like,
he actually made the bank, but
he made the bank. He made big bank. Yeah, good on him. But that for emotionally, like I was emotionally bankrupt as well. And like to go again is the only thing that no one can take away from you.
No.
All my assets. The same with
But that's what
Ellis.
makes you more powerful and more rich.
I'm
Do
the
you know what I
value
mean?
now.
Being able to go again.
Get back up again. My jaw got rocked financially
Yeah.
bad, and same with Ellis. And when you see him get up and he's smashing it again, like that's inspirational, and that's why you have people like him on the couch here. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I'm talking about. The emotional bankruptcy, the emotions that go through it, all of that stuff that life's thrown at you. It's a madness, man.
It's the beautiful mess.
It's a beautiful mess, an organised mess, yeah. But when I was talking about my ADHD, my wife will tell you this as well. It's hop, skip and jump. Like, I hope everyone has picked little snippets from what we've got here. And it's been.
I've got so many good crops. I've got so many good crops.
But it is, my brain goes from one thing to another, and you know when people start blaming stuff like that, so I go, just deal with it.
Yeah,
you know? And I'm not being horrible saying that as well. But
no, man.
we've all got some sort of form of imperfection there.
Bro, and this is, like, because I just checked the time, and
Excuses
it's
again.
bloody hours fly, man. The hours basically, well, it's not an hour, it's a little under an hour. But so I will try and semi-wrap it up.
Bro.
But it's like...
I've talked to you for ages, bro.
Yeah,
you know
we
that.
could have done an easy 3 hour. This is what I'm going to try and find a place for trying to extend my time. But I basically... Yeah, no, now I'm butchering it because now I'm thinking...
No, listen, I think, Joe, look, you're doing being here, being real, to surmise...
I remember what I was going to say now, but carry on.
Yeah, do you think, but and help we wrap up as well, because I think you're doing... This is what you're doing here, is showing that real people, in the society we live today, you don't see... It's all false. Everything seems so false.
You're very true.
And just to hear people say it.
That's what I was going to say, and it's like having real people like yourself. That's why I wanted you. You was on my list of people I want to talk to. I've got a whole list, and hopefully I can bring them all to you because you are a real person. You've been through life's real challenges, and you've come out. And I'm not saying that there's not more challenges coming for you and for me, but it's a case where it seems like you're in a very stable place right now.
Equipped for it.
If that makes sense. And because of what that's a very nice way of putting it, and what you've been through, you are equipped for whatever the future will bring. Yeah. And that's what I think about, like, my back injury and other things I've been through. It's like these are all great lessons that are, when the bigger problems come in the future,
100%.
One is ready to deal with them.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed your hour. I hope everyone's enjoyed your hour,
even
though it's under an hour.
Hop, skips and jumps about the place.
If you make any sense out of this podcast, good luck to you.
Just
but
listen, man.
mate, we'll do it again. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially like as this goes on and stuff, it's nice to review people. All my favourite podcasters, they bring guests back.
Do it in 6 months' time, a year's time, bro, and see how much you've come on.
Me, yourself. Yeah. If you're bankrupt again.
Yeah, this is it go.
No,
we
I'm
go
joking.
again.
He'll be in Dubai.
Trump
being
was
very
made
successful.
bankrupt 8 times.
I think he's done that to do a tax. Let's not
bring
him up on
Trump.
this. There's no politics on here. No politics on here. But no, thank you all for listening as always. Just a conversation, bro. This doesn't even... Ellis said it best. He was like, bro, you get away with it because guess what? Your podcast got no point to it.
Yes, Mickey, man.
It's just a conversation.
No,
so thank you for tuning into just a conversation with Ginger Joe. I hope you enjoyed it. Lots more to come. Lots more motivational people with great stories, real stories. I feel like we could have gone on for another 2 hours and explored more of those situations. But I appreciate what you did share. Do you know what I mean, in a way?
I think people need to know that the tough times don't last. Tough people do. You know.
I think there's not a better way to leave it. Let's leave it on that. Thank you so much,
Cheers,
sir.
Joe, boy.
My boy. Nice one, y'all.